Hello, my name is Emma McGrath and welcome to the Settled in Motion podcast, where we discuss topics based around my recent song titles. For this episode, I've spoken to Myles Smith. He's an awesome songwriter and fellow musician. This is Say Something, episode 2. So, what I want to know about is a time in your life where you've felt like you wanted to say something, but you didn't think that you were able to, or you feel like you should have said something and you didn't.
Like, first off, great song, you do well. I'm proud of you.
Myles.
But no, say something. I think that with the whole concept is really good to really hone in on those thoughts and those opportunities missed and those things, like you said, where we should have said something but we didn't. But also it's looking back and seeing it as an opportunity to grow and learn that if those situations arise in the future, maybe something should be said. But looking at my own personal experiences, I'd say that it's quite recurrent when things pop up and I should say something and I don't. And it's usually when I'm trying to distinguish between being irritated and annoyed and being hurt. And I think that a lot of the time you mistake hurt for irritation or annoyance. And that's usually where we misrepresent what you actually feel, and you either don't say something in those moments or you say something and it's not actually reflective of your feelings. Does that make sense?
That makes 100% sense. Acknowledging your own feelings and then getting them mixed up and reacting to them in the wrong way that it might not be right. Is that what it is?
Yeah, sometimes I think that we cover up what hurts us by being the angry person or being the cold person or being the numb person, and don't actually say what's really on our mind, so it's
Do you find that, like, if you've got something on your mind that's bugging you, sometimes you'll subconsciously blame it on something else, even though you know deep down what the problem is, but you'll tell everyone else that it's...
Yeah, those times where you're with a loved one or someone that you're close with and they're like, you're right, and you're like, yes.
I'm fine.
But deep down is like, what's hurting you, what's not sitting right, but there's something that's in your gut that's like, not today.
Yeah, I've got you. Yeah, and I think even sometimes I find that I'll blame my feelings, or if I'm not feeling great, like, I'll blame it on something, but I don't actually know what it is. Like, there's something bugging me, but like I haven't quite figured out what it is yet. Maybe that's me avoiding it. Is that an avoiding thingy? I don't know.
I feel like me and you are pretty similar in that we don't say something in the moment, but then 6 months down the line we'll write a song about it. And then that person's like, you could have said at the time.
Have you had someone realise a song's about them and come back to you and be like, yo, what are you chatting in that song?
That's... if I speak, I'll be in big trouble.
So yes, basically that's the answer.
I have. But I think that's part of, like, growing up and understanding the world and people more, and that how we work as individuals and how I'm sure many other people do doesn't really align with the rest of the world. And so we're either forced to say something and feel incredibly uncomfortable and then sort of throw it and run, or we don't say anything, take on a load of hurt and turmoil, and then it gets to the end and you're like, oh damn, I should have said something. And I think, like, do you ever get the question of like, oh, who's that song about, or what did you write it about? And you go, I wrote it from a friend's experience, but really in your head, it's yours.
Say that all the time.
I've used that so many times. They're like, oh, was you heartbroken? Nope, it was my friend Jack.
Making up stories.
But yeah, it's usually around heartbreak and hurt where I fail to say something. Any other occasion, catch me at a restaurant and my food's not right, I'm saying something. Like,
oh really?
I'm one of those. Yeah.
Oh god.
I'm one of those. Hey.
I'm not. Like, I'll be like, yeah, it's amazing. It's really good. And they've like brought the wrong dish. But see, I need to learn from stuff like that. It goes back to that self-improvement thing. Like, why do I feel like I can't like be like to the waiter and be like, yo, my food's not right?
Exactly.
It's really bad. Like, what's the problem? It's like, that's their job, and I'm just kind of... It's not even that it's their job. It's just like, why do I have this thing of like, I don't want to get in the way. I don't want to upset people. And I think it's the same with like everything else. Even if you've got something more deep than you brought me the wrong food.
Like, even now, Like, I'm thinking about what that thing is, but I'm struggling to say it. But I'm going to say it for the purposes of Eva's podcast. But I think it's that feeling of being vulnerable that I don't do well with. I like sort of like when I know the outcome. If I don't know the outcome, then oh my God, absolutely move it away from me. But I like being able to sort of control my environment, know what's happening, and as soon as I put myself in a position where you don't know the response you're going to get, I'm just like, let me shut up now, you know?
Yeah, I've got you. Yeah, maybe it's in case I don't like upsetting people. Yeah, I do feel like I need to cover something trivial in one episode because otherwise I think people are going to be like, yeah, but you can't always say what's on your mind because you're going to offend people. But then what is offensive?
Yeah, because my offensive and someone else's offensive are pretty different.
I think it's if you're commenting on someone's work or something that someone's worked on or towards, then it needs to be constructive. It can't be like offensive. And I think if all you ever give someone is negative comments, then you need to tone it down because no one creates only bad things.
No, but if I sent you something that was awful and you came back with constructive criticism and just didn't tell me it was crap outright, like imagine unsavable piece of work and you gave me constructive criticism, I'll just be like, Emma, just tell me just say something. Do you know what I mean? And we've all been there where we've made absolute horrendous things that are down in the ditches 6 foot under.
But that's just a part of your journey of like creating stuff.
But that's where you need honest friends to say something. Say if your breath smelled and I didn't say anything, you'd be fuming.
See, I did that once. It was a family member, right?
Oh my God.
It was a family member, and I said, "Oh, like, do you want some gum? Because like, I don't know what, like, your breath really smells." No, it was literally. I was trying to be nice.
Oh my God.
Because I didn't know. Like maybe you had like a bad tooth or something. I don't know. And I was like,
this is for your
and
health.
then someone else, and then another family member said, "Oh, you can't say that to them."
So then what are you supposed to say?
Well, if I had breath that bad, I want to know about it.
Do you know what I mean? It's absolutely horrendous.
Do you know what I mean?
Imagine you walked out with like,
I'd want to know.
I know, poo on your trousers
Literally,
and no one said anything.
Toilet paper on your shoe. I'd want to know.
Exactly, and people are like, no, it's rude. No, it's not rude.
It's not rude.
That's honesty. Do you know people in relationships, right?
Yeah.
See how everyone's like, communication is key and all of that stuff, yeah? If you don't communicate, it's going in the bin.
Yeah.
You might as well open the bin bag, throw it in, wake up at 7 a.m, give it to the bin man to throw in the lorry to then get taken to a tip somewhere in the country, because that's what happens if you don't say anything.
Literally. You've got to you have to tell people, even if it's like the tiniest thing, it's like, you know, like that happened today and it kind of like didn't make me feel great.
Yeah.
Like just be open about it and don't get offended if someone says that, because it's not a dig.
Exactly. And
it's just honesty and expressing your feelings. And sometimes you don't understand your own feelings.
And if they don't want to listen, then
they're not the right one.
Not the right one.
Get another one.
Get another one. But you know what I mean, there's plenty more. I don't like fish in the sea. I don't. Say if you're a vegetarian
cows
or
in
a
the field.
vegan. Cows in no, but if you're a vegan, you can't get cows. There's plenty more. I don't know.
Eating.
Trees in a butt.
Can we stop now?
Yeah, sorry.
Let's move on.
I was thinking of analogies, but the point is, say something.
Yeah, don't be afraid of not being understood. Because I think I often say to people that are close to me, like, I don't need you to understand. I just need you to accept it. Like, this is how I'm feeling, and I'm not expecting you to be able to sympathise with me or be able to be like, oh yeah, I know exactly how you're feeling. You just got to accept it, because that's how I'm feeling today.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
For sure. That's a lesson that took me years to learn, though, just to accept that people experience things in different ways. Like, I'm not a very affectionate person per se, so like hugging, holding hands doesn't even cross my mind.
Does it not?
At all, no. And then if it doesn't work when you're with someone who does like that, and so they're like, oh, you don't hold my hand, it makes you upset. I'm like, what do you mean? It doesn't make me upset. Until I actually didn't realise I wasn't listening, and people are affected in different ways.
Yeah.
But then something like just being open and honest is something that I appreciate. And so when people aren't, I'm like, that affects me. They're like, how? It doesn't affect me.
1 second. Shh. Be quiet, please. We're recording. Children.
They say too much, children. Don't limit a child's freedom.
Did you see that thing online the other day where it was like this toddler came up to his mum with a watering can and watered his mum's boobs and said, "Why are you watering them?" And he said, "So they will grow."
Oh my gosh. Blimey.
How incredible is that?
That's insane.
It's amazing. I love that so much. It's so good.
I think parents should encourage their children to say more.
Do you know? Yeah, I agree. My family never used to talk to each other that much. Like, we never would talk about feelings or anything like that. It was super. I feel like it's still super awkward, even though I'm super open with everyone else, and kind of try. I think it's got a lot better, definitely. But yeah, growing up, I think that's probably where some of my anxiety about it came from. It's hard to know. I feel like some people are just built with it in them, maybe. But I am no expert. But what about your family? Like, are you open?
Had upbringing was mixed. Like, Dad's not in the picture now. So when he was around, I didn't say anything. But then when it was just me and my mum, my legend, my queen. Yeah,
she's so good.
She's amazing. She just always tells me, be open, be honest, whatever it is, we can work through it. And that's been a real help in my life, to be able to be open within the family unit.
Yeah.
But not just the family unit, but anyone who's close, because not everyone is close with their family. But having people you can learn to be open with before being open with the person or I don't believe in them, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
That significant other, I think is the correct term. But I think it takes a bit of practice. You know, you can't just go full steam ahead. I'm open. Then
It does
build
take
up.
practice. Yeah.
Because sometimes you're open, but you think you're being open, but you're not actually saying what's on your mind.
You're maybe subconsciously saying what you think they want to hear.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Oh, you've just opened a tin of worms in my heart.
Oh no. Do you want to talk about it?
You know, so there was this one time. No, but definitely, I think that we people please a lot and don't think about ourselves. And I think that we're taught too young that being selfish is wrong, when in fact, being selfish is healthy. Not too selfish, but you know what I mean.
When it comes to feelings, that you can't just live your life trying to make other people happy. You got to think about yourself sometimes.
You definitely got to think about yourself, because it will just pile on top of you if you don't. Yeah, let's not make this too gloomy, but...
Well, no, it's not gloomy, Myles. This is all positive, very constructive.
You're making me say something. You see
I'm
what I mean?
making you say something. Oh my God.
This is it.
Look at
We've
it.
just done it. Do you know
We're
what I mean?
opening our hearts
our minds
and our souls to each other
over a podcast.
Oh my God.
This has gone from promotional material to real life friendship.
Is that... Are you saying we didn't have that before?
I mean, we definitely did. But yeah, do you want to do that cool thing where you close it in a really nice radio voice?
Yeah. I've been Emma McGrath, and that's been Myles Smith. Thank you for listening to my Say Something podcast. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you stick around for another episode. And if you haven't already, go listen to Say Something, because it is the reason why we have this podcast, because of the song. So go for it. Bye.